You have most definitely heard the phrase power struggle tossed around in parenting. But if I told you the real struggle is how we've been taught to hold power over our children rather than with them. Phrases like, because I said so, go to your room. If you don't do this, there's going to be a consequence. If you don't do this, you're going to lose your screen time. I know this sounds familiar. These phrases come from a parenting model that has been passed down from generations, one that assumes control equals respect, that obedience means success. But the truth is, control is not the same as connection. I'm Julie Cornish, and I am the founder of The Rewired Parent, a place where we are transforming our parenting from the inside out. Today, we are going to talk about the difference between power over and power with parenting, and why this shift to power with parenting is one of the most healing and rewarding things that you can do for your children and for your own nervous system and overall well-being. So what is power over parenting? It's what most of us were raised with. It relies on dominance, hierarchy, control, and compliance. It says, I'm the adult, you're the child, and you do what I say. This approach might be effective or even just look effective in the short term. Kids comply, the behavior is managed, things feel under control. You appear to be a good parent because your kids are listening to you. But underneath that control, there is fear, there's shame, there's disconnection, and there's other emotions that do not just disappear. Those emotions get stored in the body and they shape our child's nervous system and mental health. They become their inner voice that our children will carry into adulthood. That compliance, that obedience, that's not what we want for them. So what is power with parenting? Power with parenting is rooted in relationship. It says that you're on the same team, that your voice matters, and you will lead with empathy and clarity. It doesn't mean you're permissive. It doesn't mean that you let your child walk all over you and do whatever the hell they want. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean your child gets to run the show. It means that you lead and you guide with emotional intelligence instead of intimidation, instead of threats. Instead of saying, stop crying and go to your room, you might say, you're really upset. I see that. I'm here for you. Let's take a moment together and talk about what happened. And one practice that I have shared before, and I will do it again because it is so helpful, not only to practice for yourself, but to teach your kids to practice when they have one of those moments, when they hit their sibling or when they do something that they maybe know doesn't align with your family values, that you allow them to process it in a way where they can reimagine the event to align with the values that they have, that your family has, that would make them feel good and they could communicate their emotions, because children's brains are not developed. They don't have always the capacity of that self-control to do what they know is right in the moment. Their emotions get the better of them. So instead of shaming them, instead of guilting them, you sit with them, you support them, and you allow them to reimagine what they wish they could have done. That's the rewiring of the brain, and it establishes connections for next. And not only that, but this approach builds trust. And the trust is what allows your child to feel safe enough to follow you where you're leading them. They're not going to follow you if they don't trust you. They're not going to respect you if you're not kind and understanding. If every time they screw up, if you're shaming them and guilting them, they're not going to come to you when they've messed up. They're not going to come and honestly tell you what's happened because there's fear there. If you can be with your children in that compassion, in that openness, they're going to feel so much safer with you. And that's going to be really important into their teen years. So why does this matter? It matters now because we are parenting in a completely different world than the one that we were raised in. So many kids are struggling with mental health issues. And kids are also more emotionally aware than they ever have been. And parents are more overwhelmed, overstimulated, and overtaxed than they ever have been. So power over might stop a tantrum, But power with builds resilience. It builds healthy mental health. It builds confidence. It rewires the patterns many of us are trying to break. The patterns of yelling, shame, disconnection, and fear. It rewires them within us so that we can stop showing up with those patterns. So we are not going to put them onto our children. So they don't have to be doing this work when they have children. They're going to know what to do. They're going to have other things to work on. And this work says to your children that you matter, your emotions are safe with me, and I am here to guide you. This is how we raise emotionally intelligent children who don't just follow the rules. They understand why values matter, they question the rules, and they carry that into the world so they are not doormats. They have confidence, they have resilience, and they have emotional safety. So, what does this look like in action? What does this look like in the real world? Let's say your child is refusing to clean up. Power Over says, clean up or you're going to lose your screen time. Power With is something a little bit more like, hey, I see that you don't want to clean your room. I get that. I don't want to clean the fucking house either. Okay, don't say fucking. Or maybe do. I don't know. It's your kid. But you're acknowledging they're having a hard time. You're explaining that, yeah, cleaning up does suck. I get that. Can I help you a little bit? Or maybe we can put the timer on and you clean up as fast as you can for 5 minutes, then we'll take a break. Or I'll help you for 5 minutes and then you do the rest by yourself while I go tackle the laundry. You're sympathizing, you're offering compassion, and you're not just shutting them down. You're acknowledging that you hear them. Another example is when your child hits their sibling. Power Over might say, go to your room. You know better than that. We don't hit in our house. Power With says, yes, bud, we don't hit. Our value in our family is safety, and that means that we don't hurt other people. But I can also see that you're overwhelmed, so let's figure this out together. Your kid's brain's not developed. They don't have that impulse control. They're going to hit sometimes when they get pissed, but you shaming or guilting them, that's not what we want to do. It's not helpful. And I've been guilty of it too. When we make a mistake, we go back and we apologize. That lets our kids know that it's totally okay to make a mistake. We're going to screw up, but it's what we do after. It's that apology, it's that making it right that matters. So that will take you back to the practice earlier. So you acknowledge your child is feeling overwhelmed. Let's figure this out together. Sit with them, let them borrow your calm, and ask them to reimagine what they wish they would have done. Help them to offer that apology to their sibling and go from there. And then there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's acknowledge they make a mistake, there's the knowing that we fix our mistake and how we could do it better next time. You're still setting boundaries, but they're grounded in emotional connection, co-regulation, and values, not punishment, not shame, not guilt. So they come off as understandable, as relatable, as grounded in truth. So if you've been parenting from Power Over, I'm not judging you. I'm not trying to guilt you. And please don't beat yourself up. I have done it too. I still do it. I have to go back and repair often. Those wires and patterns in our brain have been there a long time from generation to generation. They're not going to change overnight. We're not going to get it perfectly. So don't expect that and be kind and compassionate to yourself. It isn't about blame. It's about being conscious of what you inherited and choosing something more connected. The base of everything, really, of personal growth is awareness. So if you're aware of those patterns, if you're aware of what you've inherited, then you work to change them. Without that awareness, you don't have a support to stand on. Without that awareness, you don't know what you don't know. And I just want to say for all of the gentle parent haters out there, and I don't know that I like calling it gentle parenting because it's so like made fun of on the internet. Aware parenting, gentle parenting, you lead with love, but you still hold a firm boundary. But your boundary is rooted in consciousness and awareness and values. So you can be in charge without being in control. So you can be a leader without inflicting consequences, shame, and guilt. That is the heart of Power with Parenting. And it's one of the most powerful gifts that you can give to your children so that they can carry on and not have to do the same work that we're doing right now. If this video resonated with you, if you're still listening and you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe, please like, and please share it with your mom friend who is struggling because we most definitely have one. And if you feel inclined to share in the comments on something that you want to shift a power over, that you would like to move to a power with, please share. It fills me with joy to see comments. It makes me so happy to know that I am connecting with real people and I'm giving value. And I just want to remind you from my heart to yours that your healing matters, that your growth matters, and that you matter deeply. And the work that you're doing today is going to carry on for years to come, for generations to come. So keep showing up, keep doing the work, and I look forward to seeing you next time.